A guitarra é uma coisa engraçada. Ela já me fez amar a vida, já me fez detestar a vida completamente. Mas às vezes eu olho para as pessoas ali embaixo e só de ver o olhar no rosto delas, vale a pena ter nascido.
Powerful.
You were a vegetarian for a while, right?
So on the subject of food,
Yeah.
I love food. I
Me
love
too.
eating food.
Who doesn't?
I love it. I eat it all day. And I really respect everybody's choice to find their path for eating. I don't impose my concepts of eating on other people. I want everyone to find what works for them because we're all different.
Right.
We all have different metabolisms, different genetics.
Absolutely.
And it has been a fantastic journey of trying everything under the sun. For the longest time, I just ate whatever you had. I was so poor and so hungry. Whatever you're cooking, that's what I ate. That's my diet. And then when it got to the point where I started learning about food, I met a girl and her family was vegetarian. And she was so full of love, Ione Sky, love and light and just a good person and her whole vibe in the family house. I was like, I'll try that. So I did the vegetarian for a few years, got poor again and started eating whatever is available to sustain. And then I tried everything, pescatarian, vegan, and my body just never totally vibed with any of those things perfectly. Then I met this girl, Terry Cochran, who's a scientist and a nutritionist. And she studies your genes, 23andMe, takes days to study your genes, and plans out your food based on your genetics. And for me, it was wild frickin' animals. That's what I was resonating with. She's like, I want you to eat alligator, elk, moose, kangaroo. I was like, really? She's like, yes, all the injuries you're having are going to sort out for you. I was like, I'll try it. And the pandemic hit. I went to Kauai. I hired a chef who could source all of those things. Half of these pictures you're showing, antelope. And I had no choice but to eat it because that's all that was in my fridge. The dude would cook and leave me food. I felt the best I've ever felt in my life. The strongest, the fastest, the sharpest, mental clarity. So that's my diet now.
Well, it's the most nutrient-dense food on Earth. If you get wild game, it has the most protein, the most vitamins. When we're talking about like a piece of elk meat, if you look at it, it's a deep red color.
Very red.
And it's just rich with protein and amino acids. It's fantastic for you. I know a lot of people ethically, they don't like the idea of eating animals. I understand it. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I understand that too. I love animals.
Yeah, I do too.
That's who I relate to.
The thing about animals is they don't live forever. And the way they die in the wild is horrific. In comparison to the way I get them, the way they die without me is way worse. And they're not going to live forever.
Nope.
They have, if they're lucky, they get to 10, 11, 12. Crazy if they get to 12. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, they're getting torn apart.
My favorite is the wild boar. I love it to pieces. And really, it comes down to what are these animals eating? Because that's
Yes.
what makes their composition.
Yeah.
So you look at a wild boar, like you said, they're eating roots and leaves and grubs and all this good stuff off the forest floor. Mm-hmm. And that's turning their meat into something beautiful.
Yeah.
And I honor their life, and I respect the fact that I'm taking a life, but they don't live forever. And you're taking the body, you're not taking the spirit.
If you lived out here, man, I'd supply you with food. I have a lot of meat. I hook up a lot of my friends with elk meat.
It's surprisingly attainable. I got elk coming down the pike. I have a little tiny Irish chef called Anya, and if I say any animal to her, like, I'd like to try some alligator, she's like on the phone getting the alligator scent. It works.
Nice.
Yes.